So another warm-up activity was given in your book. That is, you want to imagine, I don't know, imagine that is you are, I told already when by this drama, okay, when you are thinking, okay, see just when you are seeing, okay, this was happened, that was happened, when you're hearing, you may not. When when you have felt it, if you feel that by imagine, right? See, first imagine your place, okay, if your place was if your city was faced by this flood or some other natural disasters, okay, situation where your house is surrounded by water. My first question, okay, imagine that is your house was surrounded by water due to the flood or something. Your house was fully surrounded by water. Imagine this, okay? So my first question is, what health hazards, okay, caused when water stagnates around your place? What health hazards you will take? You try to answer, you pause the video and try to answer by yourself, okay? Because I will say the answer now. So what health hazards we will take up if our house was surrounded by water? You try to answer this. First, okay, the dangerous diseases, a stench smell, a mosquitoes, breeding, etc. These will happen. That hazard, these may cause due to this water stagnates. If the water stagnates around the house, what health hazard will happen? So some dangerous diseases will affect us. Some stench smell. So if there's a water just in a pit, no, some you can get some stench smell. So fully it was surrounded by water means sure you will get some stench smell, right? Stench smell and mosquitoes breeding like this, right? Okay. Second question is, when there is a power shutdown for a long hours during a flood, so what will you do during a flood? Okay, for a long haul power shutdown, there is no current in your home. So what will you do at that time? The first thing is, you want to collect the rainwater for drinking. There is no power, right? So surely you will not get the water for drinking. So you want to collect the rainwater for drinking and for other purposes. And we want to try to finish the daily chores, daily works before dusk. What's a dusk? It's a before evening, before it gets dark. You want to finish the daily works, daily chores. Because after dark, the power is not there, you cannot do the works properly, right? Okay. Third question. See, what precautions would you take if there is an announcement about flooding in your area? Suppose in a previous itself, they given a precaution about the flood in your area. So what the steps you will take? That's a question. See, that is first we want to do is we want to move to the safer place, right? We want to move to the safer place on a, that's a higher altitude. That's a higher altitude. That is, what I mean by altitude? That's a height of height of something above the sea level. That is called altitude. So you want to move to the safer place on a higher altitude, right? That's the main thing which we want to do, right? Okay, see, this is some warm-up activity which was given, and other thing was given. One tabular column was given in your book, okay, and they given that you want to list out the human activities, because up to now we have seen that natural disasters, because which was caused by nature. Even human disasters are there because of human. If you are drilling the earth, you are causing many things, right? So human activities which have an impact on nature. So what are the activities which was done by human? The activities which we are doing now, what's the impact on nature? So that was given. See, the first thing is a dumping toxic waste into oceans. Okay, the first thing I am saying is human activities. We humans are dumping a toxic means what? Poisonous, right? A toxic waste into oceans. We are doing these activities. So what's the impact on nature? What's the impact on nature? If we are dumping poison as the toxic waste into the oceans, what is the impact on nature? We try to answer this because this activities which you want to done by you. Okay. So if we dump the waste into the oceans, it affects the marine life. It is the impact on nature. It affects the marine life, right? So next one is disposal. Okay, disposal of non-biodegradable waste. We are disposing a non-biodegradable, right? Non-biodegradable, biodegradable. You know that, right? So disposing of a non-biodegradable waste. What will happen? What's the impact on nature by this activity? Now, say it pollutes the earth. Main first thing is it pollutes the earth, and it makes the land toxic, poisonous. Makes the land poisonous. So we will get many diseases. We will face many harmful things, right? So this is the second one, right? Third one, emission. Okay, emission of smoke. Where you will get emission. What's the mean by emission? First of all, emission, which means a production or discharge of something. Okay, production or discharge of something, especially a gas or radiation, that is called emission. So this emission of smoke, where mostly the emission of smoke will happen? Industries and from vehicles, right? So what is this human activity? That's the emission of smoke from industries and vehicles like that. So because of this activity, what's the impact on nature? What's the impact on nature, right? So if we breathe that, now what will happen? It will pollute the lungs, and surely it was harmful for health, right? So and encroaching, okay, encroaching in forest areas. Encroaching means that's occupying, taking control or possession of something. That is called encroaching. Occupying the forest nowadays, right? So encroaching of forest. So what's the impact on nature? The first thing is, I am saying the human activities. Encroaching of forest. We humans are only encroaching the forest because forest is a place for animals, but we are occupying that. So what's the impact on nature? So nature, what happened? So it reduces. That's a reduction of trees. There is no trees and vegetation. So if there is no trees and vegetation, there are many problems we are facing, we know, right? So this tabular column also, which was given in your book, okay, warm up activity. So this we have seen, right? So now let's go to the lesson. You may ask, ma'am, why we are seeing about the natural disasters and why this human activities and impact on nature, why we are going to see. See, because in this drama also, the children, the small children like you, they are facing a natural disaster, flood in their area. See how they are overcoming that. That we are going to see in this lesson. Right. See here, it was the, first before seeing the brief lesson, I want to say the core of the lesson. Okay, core of the lesson. See, it was a story of the family. It was I will say just a core of the lesson, okay. It was a story of the family. The children were in the family was in the house of the family, were in the house. Their parents were not with them, okay. Their parents were not with them at that time. There was a continuous rain for 3 days, and I told their parents were not with them. The 3 children were alone. So who are the 3 children now? There's Annie, Betty, Rose, like that, okay. So the children were, that's Amy and Rose, 2 children, sorry. So their parents were not with them, and there was a continuous rain for 3 days, okay. The river was rising. If there's a continuous rain, what will happen? The river level will rise, right. The river was rising fast. Their house was surrounded with water. They were expecting someone to rescue. What's meant by rescue? It means a saving. They were expecting someone to save them. So it was a terrific experience, right, for them. Oh, Jim. Who is a Jim? Jim Hall, the neighbor, I told, right? 17 years old. Jim explained the situation to the girls. And he asked them to get organized, okay, to get organized. And he himself volunteered to check on food, a blanket and coats along with them, because main basic things first this you want to get the basic things. The basic thing is food, and if there's a flood now, you need the blanket, right, and coats, everything. Okay, he himself volunteered and he just checked on everything and he took along with them. Mr. Peter, okay, Mr. Peter, I told you, he's a member of the Red Cross Disaster Committee. Mr. Peter and Mr. Marshall, that is Amy and Betty's father, Marshall, arrived, okay, they arrived in the boat and they entered, okay, they entered the house with a light and a lantern, and they rescued Sarah, Rose and Betty. Sarah Field, right, Sarah Field, Rose, Betty and Amy and everyone. So this was the story code. First one is, that is the children were in the family and they were alone. Their parents were not there. There was a continuous rain for 3 days and their house was fully surrounded with water. And Jim explained the situation to the girls and he asked to get organized. And he just gathered the food, blanket and coats and everything along with them. And Peter and Mr. Marshall arrived in the boat and they entered the house with the lights, lanterns, everything, and they saved Sarah, Betty, Amy and Rose. So this was the core of the lesson. Okay. So now let's start the lesson briefly. Okay. So I told, okay, this is a drama. Okay, the screen has risen up. The characters was introduced. Okay, again the screen was dropped. Now the setting. What was the setting? It was a time. First thing is they will say no time. Night, 10 o'clock. At forest, like that, right? So here what was the time means? It's a late afternoon march. Okay, time is late afternoon march. Setting, where it took place. Setting means it's a living room of Marshall's home. Living room of Marshall home. Okay, let's start the lesson. Okay, now it starts. Scene 1. Okay, the drama starts. So in this drama, the author pictures a lifetime of Prose. Okay. So its purpose. Okay, what's the purpose of the author of giving means? Its purpose is to highlight the central idea of security. That is, though in fear. See, the 3 girls were alone. They will fear, right? So though they were in fear and confusion, the characters, that is the girls, deal very bravely with the flood. Okay, they dealt with the flood. So now the scene opens. How it was open means it was on a late afternoon in March. See, a group of children. Who is that? Amy, Betty and Rose. They find themselves alone at home. Okay, during a rains. The rain were very heavy and it worsened. Okay, it worsened the bridges and it was very worsened. And the bridges seemed to be flooded. Okay, even the bridges also seemed to be flooded. Amy, Betty and Rose in the beginning, they were sitting around the living room table. Amy and Rose were knitting and Betty is just looking at the pictures in the magazine. Okay, there the stage. Okay, in a drama they will say, they will set in the stage, right? It's a drama. So here the author is saying the stage is not clear, the stage is not bright. Okay. See, Betty, okay, she hears the radio. Said that a river which was there, that is, river was above flood this morning. That is, it means that water is above the white line on the bank at Thompson. Thompson Bridge is a name, is one of the bridges in America. That water level was above on the bank, that's above the line, above the level. You will measure, no, by measuring that they will say it was just above the level of this line. Like that, it was above, just reached above the level of the Thompson Bridge. Okay. So saying that, okay, suddenly, okay, say Hammy says this, it was reached the above level of the coastal, that's line, white line on the bank at Thompson Bridge. Says Amy. Suddenly they hear the noise of a stamping feet. See here what's meant by stamping. Stamping, which means bring down one's feet, so one's foot heavily on ground. Just stamping. This, okay, just stamping. It's a heavily. If you're heavily just placing your foot on the ground, that is called stamping. So suddenly they hear the noise of a stamping feet and someone breathing, okay, someone are breathing heavily hard, breathing hard. The girls look all directions, okay, the girls look all directions of the sounds because suddenly they are hearing the sound, they are looking all direction of the sounds. Gym hall, because what's the sound, who entered there means gym hall. I told no. And while saying the core of the drama, Jim Hall and Marshall, they entered and they saved. So who is a Jim Hall? He is a neighbor of Amy Marshall, right? So Jim Hall entered the room and he says it's a cloud burst. What's a cloud burst? See, cloud burst. A sudden violent rainstorm. A sudden violent rainstorm. That's called a suddenly violent. Rainstorm means storm, clear, right? Rain, heavy rain. It's a cloud burst. And he asked Amy, where is your mom? He was asking, where is your mom? They heard from their mother that she wouldn't come back home because since the rain was heavy, she wouldn't come back to the home, right? So Jim joins the three children at home. Amy's father was in Chicago, okay, their mother unable to reach the house since it was a heavy rain, and their father, Amy's father, was in Chicago. So Jim joins the three children. The children decide to stay indoors itself because they cannot go outdoors, right? They decided to stay indoors. They fill fresh water, okay, they fill fresh water in containers because in case the town supply may be cut off or it may unsafe, right, unsafe to drink. So that what they did, no, they fill the fresh water in the containers. See how intelligent they were. Not they didn't sit simply. They are just taking the steps of what we have to do, the base necessary steps. They collected the fresh water in the container, okay. And then, okay, next one is Jim look up for lantern. That's a light. They have now they have a lantern, candles ready. They have a lantern, candles ready for a shutdown. If there is a, see, there is a rain and continuous, okay, now continuous 4 days we are facing a rain, right? So during the rain, of course, in the evening the power may be cut off, right? So there is a flood, surely the power may shut down, right? So for that they are collecting a lantern. They have a lantern, candles ready for a shutdown of electricity. Even a telephone stopped working. The telephone signal stopped working. So what happened next? Okay, just we continue. And now I want to say you one interesting thing for you. I told no Red Cross, right? In your book it was given in a box. Do you know? The Red Cross Society, okay, the Red Cross Society, it is an international humanitarian service organization. It's a service, purely it's a service organization. Okay, and it is a biggest independent, non-religious, independent, it's not dependent, independent and non-religious, not based on religions, okay, non-religious and non-political organization. That is treating people equally, treating people equality, not by saying religions or politically or in any other things, right? Treating people equality all over the world. And it was established in 1863. Okay, it was established in 1863 in the place Geneva. Okay, Switzerland. Okay, in Switzerland. By whom means by Jean Henry Dunant. It was started by Jean Henry Dunant in the year of 1863 in Geneva, Switzerland. So just for interesting fact they given in the book, and I too told it. So I told at last, okay, they collected a lantern candles due to for the shutdown, electricity, right? And even the telephone stopped working. So what happened next? See how they stayed inside and how they just rescued. That we will continue in the next video. Okay, thank you children.